Hey, it's Thursday night, Mike. It's
Howdy, howdy.
Thursday night.
It is indeed. You know what that
Some
means?
field day in the Marine Corps. That's what that means. Someone's getting clean right now, but it's also time for We Are Resilient. We Are War with Michael Geary, a founder and executive director of Hellfish Haven, and he's also an MP Army veteran. My name is Travis, Marine Corps veteran, host of Oscar Mike Radio, and we have a fantastic guest tonight with us. I'm going to talk about his military experience and what he's doing. Tholin Johnson, welcome to War. Welcome to We Are Resilient. And you've got some cool stuff to kind of get us started off here. So, Mike, why don't you tell how you got connected with Tholin, and then we'll turn over to him and do this thing.
I first heard him on the Battle Buddies podcast, which is another podcast that I'm going to be on someday. Tried to set it up for the first time. It just didn't work out the times that we had. And then, so I heard Nolan talking about his journey and, what he's done afterwards to, help vets and everybody. And it just, when he reached out to me, I was like, absolutely, would love to have you on, War and come by and explain, what you've been doing and how you've been, impacting lives since the service, as well as when you were in.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so I learned about what Tholin does and some of
Hey,
his
Battle
back
Buddies, it's your host, Keith McKeever.
No, so
some of the backstory. So, but not to give too much of it away, Tholin, can you kind of tell us, who Tholin is, what you did in the military, and then we'll get into eudaimonia.
all right. Thank you for having me, guys. I truly appreciate this opportunity getting connected with Mike, and it's definitely amazing to get in this space and speak with other vets about helping other vets. So appreciate you guys giving the time to speak today. My name is Tholin Johnson. I'm a eudaimonia strategist, but at heart, I am a philanthropist. So I travel the world and help people in need with my Empress. That's kind of what we do at heart. Um, in the military, I was a Cav Scout 19 Delta. If you ain't Cav, they know it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh
You
yeah,
guys, yeah,
we've had plenty of Cav guys come through. You ain't Cav, you ain't shit.
yeah, definitely.
hmm
So I was at E5. I got out as an E5. I was in for about 7 years, a couple months. Went to Afghan and another tour in Nigeria. Um, I was stationed in Fort Riley. That was my heart. And then also in Germany. So that was pretty much it. Now that, I got out, I'm also still serving veterans by starting a movement called Just Smile Over. And that's so military individuals live every day. And the mission and goal and vision behind that is to pretty much try to get the suicide rate down, to better veterans in the veteran community, and just show that, hey, we are the solution, and together we can get this done and take care of each other. So that's the big motion, and everything that I do in life kind of aligns to my purpose, which is just to spread love, happiness, and peace, and help people smile more, from going from hopeless to hope more. Thank you, guys.
Love it, love it.
Now in Germany, where were you?
So in Germany, I was in Vilsec. I was in
Yeah.
Fort with 4-2.
No, so I was at Grafenwehr. So
Yeah. Oh, you was in Graf?
I was right next door, yeah. But that was
Oh.
that was in 2003. So it was a
So
long time ago,
you
20
guys
years ago.
were the bougie ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Edge bar right outside. We
Yeah.
go, and then whichever MP was on duty, like it was nice because like we could harass the German gate guards, and then they would call for the MPs to come, and it would just be our own guys, and we just jump in the back and get a ride back to the barracks.
Yeah.
So
Germany was a good time. It was fun.
it was a good time. I thought I could chase a deer when I was in Germany. I
Yeah.
was literally in the passenger seat. I'd been maybe had a couple of wobbly pops that night, and all of a sudden I see a deer in the woods, and I just opened the passenger door and just started running. And the corporal that was driving me was like, "I don't know where you were going, man, but I just let you do it."
Yeah. Yeah. Those deers out there are huge, and they're not scared of anybody because they don't really hunt that much out there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's
definitely
great to
rained a
know.
lot for us. It's
Yeah,
like,
small world, small world.
hmm but so how you been able to, connect with folks? Do they connect with you, online? Do you have a website? Go through Facebook, go through YouTube. How do people find you?
Yeah, so definitely. What I have is Facebook. I have a Facebook group. It's No Be Love. Um, and once you search for No Be Love, you'll see that I'm more active on Instagram, which is no.be.love underscore yourself. So definitely go and follow me there. For veterans, I started a podcast pretty much, uh, start to speak more, and it's the Just Smile Over podcast. And it's where a veteran can be better in. So my vision for that is to help veterans that are already inside the military to start being better in and prepare themselves for coming out. Because we know there's only two ways you getting out the army, right? Is in a body bag with a flag draped over your coffin, or you're just getting out. So you're getting out either way. So it's plan on being better while you're in, so then you can be a better veteran when you get out.
I definitely wasn't planning to get out. I was on tour 4. I made, starting first class in 9 years. I was like, I'm rocking and rolling. And then my back gave out. I had to get a surgery on my lower back, had part of my spine
Mhm.
removed. And they were like, see you later. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. That's a tough part, man. I never expected to get out, and a lot of my leaders never expected me to get out. But I was going through a lot at the time. I didn't know how to process it, kind of going by myself. And that was a tough thing, like transitioning and finally coming to wits that I'm getting out the military. Because ever since I was a kid, everyone knew, I'm going to the military. I feel like I was born to be in the military. So when it came time to get out, it was very tough for me, and I dealt a lot with identity issues, and that's kind of how what I do now as a eudaimonia strategist helped me to transition better and to now excel in life. Finding new purpose as well, and just helping other people be better in their life for themselves as well. So finding that who they are and inspiring others to know yourself, be yourself, love yourself.
Well, looking up and hope, let's see if I say this right, Tholin, eudaimonia. Yay. It was very interesting to me because it's based on the concept of a happiness or finding happiness
Mhm.
no matter where you are. It's no special pill or essential oil or plant or drink. It's about, finding, that happiness and developing that as a strategy. And that
Mhm.
kind of like, I didn't know what to think
Yeah.
because as a veteran, I like to complain about everything. Everything sucks, you know. Even if it's a nice day out, there's something to complain about somewhere if I look hard enough. But I never really thought about trying to be happy on purpose.
Mm.
And Mike and I are kind of beat up. We got a lot of miles on, so if we're not fine, I mean, our bodies are kind of like saying, "Hey, you got some miles on you now." So we hurt all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is really freaking interesting. Can I really like? I mean, you don't force yourself to be happy, but
Mm.
it sounds like you can like get yourself in a happy state. So my first thing is like how does that work, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
So definitely, so the misconception a lot of times when people first find the word is they think happiness, right? Because we translate it to English. It's actually a Greek word that means, just finding a good spirit. All right.
Okay.
Just having a good spirit. So the way I explain it to a lot of people is being in that state where no matter if it's good, anything is going good or bad, you're still thriving and flourishing because you understand that this is life. The experiences of life is good and bad. So you don't, you're not trying to chase happiness or feel like you're always gotta be happy all the time. So that's the big thing for me was finding eudaimonia was the same way, right? Is to help people find greatness within themselves by gaining freedom from their regrets. And that was the big thing for me, like getting out the military was I had a lot of regrets from combat, from things like that. right? And PTSD, dealing with PTSD, losing my identity. I was the same way. I was on like 17 different meds, getting out. It was rough. It was very rough for me. I lost everything in life. And something that I learned from eudaimonia is that, that none of these things were good fortune. What builds a good fortune, gives you good fortune, is having a good character,
Okay.
right? And having a good intentions, and then that will bring you good fortune, because these are things that cannot ever be taken away from you. So that was the big thing for me, and the big quote that stuck with me, that helped me to then get to these steps and to find strategies through eudaimonia, was that we don't die by falling in the river, we drown by staying there.
Whoa. Because well, now I'm like, the wheels starting to turn. Because I meet people, and Mike has too, where it's like, hey, life is rough, life can be bad, I can find something to complain about, but they seem to want to stay there, Tholin. They
Mhm.
don't want to ever get out of, I call it, you call it the river, I call it the pig pen of self-loathing and mediocrity. That's what I call it. It's the mud is
Yeah.
warm and it's comfortable and you know where it is, and it's easier to stay there than to get out of the pig pen, clean yourself off and go forward in life. Is
Mhm.
that what you're talking about? Is that kind of it?
Yeah, pretty much people feeling so low, right? And then it's also like finding a way. The big thing was finding blame, right? It's like blaming others for the feeling that you have. I could have done that a lot, with the way that I felt. I was blaming a lot of people for the things that happened that I got to get out. I was blaming my leaders and stuff like that, right? So building that strategy to see that I'm the leader of my life. I had to find purpose, direction, and motivation, right? That's part of the military, for leadership, right? Is how do you apply that to yourself? And that was the big thing, where you can't stay this way. No one is going to save you. No one is coming to save you. So you have to get out of that, like you said, that mud for yourself. You have to take that responsibility and the self accountability to then go out and achieve what you want in life. And you have so many skills, the same way, like what I help vets with, right, is identifying values for yourself, right? We have that in the military, where we have the army values. Why can't we apply that to your life? What is your values?
Right.
Loyalty, duty, respect, selfless courage, right? All that stuff, right? How
So
can you apply these to your life? And that's what really is going to get you, started and built on.
so to go back a little bit, what happened to say, what, I'm at this point in my life, what I'm doing now isn't working that good. I want to make a change. I guess what I'm trying to ask is what what connected you with eudaimonia?
So the big thing that connected me with eudaimonia was just being at a point in life where I was on 17 different meds. I was just laid on the couch, right? I was getting out. I had a job. Everybody said have a plan. I always had like 6 plans for everything I did in life. That's what helped me excel in the army and fast track. So I had all these plans. I had 3 jobs pretty much before I got out the military, and I started to lose everything. It was tough for me. I couldn't operate as a human being. I felt like I was being controlled. I was just a zombie because I was on all these meds. That was their solution for everything. That's what my doctors were giving me in the military. Hey, just be on all these meds, and that was their solution. And I started to lose everything once I got out. I lost friends. I lost leaders. Um, I lost family. I started to feel so lost without the military. And then I started to dig more deeper on, hey, this is not who I am. I had to get real about that. This is not who I am. I need to find myself again. And that's when I started to dig more into how, like, what brings you joy, right? The simplest ways, because I was still in Germany, so I wasn't getting benefits and stuff like that for help. Like I can go to therapists and stuff like that once I got out, because it was just on my dime now because I was in Germany. So for me was, as I always do, if there's a big complex problem, I always find a basic simple solution. So what I started to look into was, psychology, and then also I started to look like what's the simplest way you can change your being, change the state that you're in, and that's just to, smile, to bring some joy to you. So the question came to me: is it the joy that brings a smile, or the smile that brings a joy? And once I started to dig into that, how you change your state from being very basic, no help at all, no resources, right, to where I'm at, then I started to see changes, and I started to dig more deeper and deeper. And I found that quote where, it said that we don't die by falling in the river, we drown by staying there. And I was like, okay, now I need to, and that quote came from the Stoics, so I looked into Stoicism, and then eudaimonia, then I hit eudaimonia, and I'm like, okay, definitely dealing with a lot of regrets and a lot of pain and a lot of just ways of not knowing what's next. And that was a tough thing for me, and it's like reminding myself of who I am. And that's where the know yourself, be yourself, love yourself came next into that point.
That's really powerful, man. That's a whole lot of stuff that you're dropping right now as knowledge and truth. Because I think the thing that got me the most was reading about this and looking at your work. And we have the Instagram link in the show post, folks. Um, is it really seen to almost, I can't use the term, the cliche, but the switch flipped, and it looked like your whole outlook on life as an experience changed
Hmm.
right then and there. And then you go through this phase, and then I have to ask, what prompted you to say, you know what, I want to take what's good for me and share it with the veteran community? Because that's a lot of work and effort too to get to that point.
Yeah, definitely. The biggest thing for me was was that I lost a battle buddy. Um, he committed suicide. I'm pretty sure you guys remember when there was a trend going around where veterans were going to the VA and committing suicide um,
Hmm.
in the parking lot, and he was one of those guys. And finding that out and hearing that, it came out that somebody just said, hey, that's what veterans do. And that hit me to the core, because this was some, I've been in deployment, I've been through some things with him, multiple deployments, and I've seen this guy. He was one of the strongest guys. Like, it was a big shock to me that he even committed suicide, because we never see the signs with this, but he was going through a lot, especially with the VA and stuff like that. So hearing people say that this is what veterans do, I was like, no, that's not what veterans do. I know a lot of other veterans who are out there doing great in life. They're pushing on. They're doing the best that they can, just like you guys are doing. With your podcast, and sharing this knowledge and giving resources, and a lot of successful veteran. And this is not what we do, and it should not be something that is acceptable. Like, to just say, "Hey, this is what veterans do." Like, that shouldn't be an accepted thing.
Yeah,
So,
the stigma and
right,
the way that Hollywood makes veterans look, where you're either crazy or broken.
right. And I took that to heart, man. And I was like, no, I want to show people and veterans that this is not what we do. Like, this is not the standard for us. Like, we can go out, get out the military, and be great at life. We can do great things, use the skills and everything that we learned from the military, and put it into life, and show other veterans, hey, look, we're doing great, we can do great. Hey, let's build a community up. We are the solution to the problem. Let's take accountability for each other. And it's like doing researches and digging into. I'm like, how are other countries? Like, we're very blessed, and we should be grateful that we have a VA system. It's a very unpopular opinion, but this is how I feel, because I came from that part where I didn't have the help until now. I moved back to the States. I'm getting a lot more the resources. But it's like we should be grateful because there's a lot of other countries that do not have an ounce of what we get, from the VA with benefits and stuff like that. So it's like, how can we, how are they surviving? How are they helping each other out? They have to do it on their own, right? So why can't we also do that and also help each other find the resources? Because 70% of the veterans that commit suicide, when I did my research a little bit more at that time, is that 70% were not connected to the military. I mean, to the
Yep.
VA, my bad. Right?
Today
To
it's
the
down to
VA.
60%.
It's down to 60. Okay.
Yep. But
So,
it's
so that's a
still a
huge,
large number. Hmm.
right, a huge number. So it's like, okay, you want to blame the VA, but when was the last time you reached out to your battle that, who got out on a dishonorable discharge? You know, when's the last time you reach out and tell your buddy, hey, how are you doing in the VA? Are you connected? How are you getting help? How are you getting resources? So that helped me to then think of, like, when I have kids, maybe they want to be in the military. So I don't want them to be part of that statistic, right? And people are
Yep.
talking about this is what veterans do. So it's like even changing it for the veterans that's going to come after us in the future, changing that culture of, hey, the veteran community stands strong, and suicide should never be an option or won't ever be an option for us anymore as we keep moving forward and pushing the needle forward. So even doing things like that, thinking of all everyone, not just our veterans now, but even the ones in the future, and changing the stigma that, hey, this is not what we do. We're going to show you guys what we do. We come together and we get shit done. I don't know if I can curse on here or
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. You're welcome to.
yeah.
so let's just role play here for a second, if you would. Let's just say, you know, a veteran watches this stream or hears you on a podcast like Battle Buddies, which is a great show,
Mhm.
and they come to you. What happens next? How do you assess them and kind of get them into this, state that you want them to be in?
Yeah. So the big thing for me is I use coaching. So I life coaching, career, relationship. Those are like my big areas. So for veterans, when they come to me, I give veterans a free session. The first session is free for veterans and veterans only, for 45 minutes. And pretty much we come in a coaching session and we just talk. We're just present with each other. And I try to identify, how I can best benefit and help them, because everyone is unique with different strategies, different ways. All right. So veterans are like the best that I help because I've been there. I've been there. I've been in trouble before in the military. I've had my biggest regrets were relationship, legal, and definitely
I know.
definitely financial. And these are the top three things that veterans have, when it comes to suicide. And
You're
it
okay.
doesn't matter if you're deployed or
Good
not.
boy, Jose.
These are the top three
Yeah.
issues. So those are the issues I look for, and I help veterans. And we have that coaching call, where we just build chemistry, get to know what you're looking to do. I had 100% success rate with vets because this is just my passion, and I love to help them. So what I help vets do is to build a mindset to know themselves. So it's build a mindset to know yourself, build strategies to be yourself, and help you support you find a community that would help you to love yourself. And those are the ways I definitely help out. And coaching, using coaching as a tool, and then we build strategies. And definitely the biggest thing is like helping with transitioning. Especially my main focus is that identity of finding a great spirit, whether you had PTSD, whether you were in combat, you killed somebody or not. You I've been blown up. I have a lot of injuries as well. I went through pretty much a lot. I can connect with a lot of veterans. So just being there and being able to show them how you can use different skills we learned from the military to also help you in life and excel
Mhm.
in life.
And definitely, just sharing your story can be such a powerful thing to people. That's one thing that we learned. The course I just completed for the VA for peer support, and like it was a big thing was like when to tell your story and when to share it with folks, and like because that's the best way to help somebody identify and see the struggle and see there is overcoming it.
Right.
And
Definitely.
do you feel
That
sharing your story like reaches out to people and really gets them up and
yeah,
going?
yeah, definitely. And that's why big shout out to Keith for on the Battle Buddy podcast. Kind of encouraged me to start, speaking more. A lot of people hear me speak and the things I went through and they see the shift that I had in life. Like I was, I was way down when I got out, man. I'm not as strong in how, I look now, but I was able to change my purpose and realign it and still continue to serve not only other people, but also myself. Not only myself, but other people as well. And that's what I love. Um, that's what I definitely love the most.
So, Tholin, we got a question from Gina in Florida. She says, Travis, does Tholin work with people like her, like me, going through a treatment program to improve brain health through nutrition, exercise? So she's going through some, treatment for some physical issues right now. I don't want to get into it, but I think she's asking, would you talk with her, right? And see if what you do could augment what she's doing.
Oh yeah, definitely. My best client, like the bigger the challenge, the more I love it. That's just me. The bigger the challenge, the more I love it because what I take pride in, I hear my clients say all the time is that I turn their impossible, what they thought was impossible, into possible. Together, when we work together, we did that. And one of my greatest, client that I had, she had MS, and she was. I didn't even know. I didn't even know. Right at the time that she came to me, she was getting ready to commit suicide. Like she had the bottle ready because there's no way she could have got help because the country she was in, they don't really know too much about MS and stuff like that. And I started to coach her and help her, and big change in her life. Even her family saw how more happy she was, how she was showing up a lot better. Her doctors even saw, and she started to make movements in body parts that she never knew that she was already losing movements in. So definitely huge if you have health, brain health, and nutrition and exercise. I had the same issues. I have TBI as well, and so definitely you can reach out to me, shoot me an email at
Yeah, just put
love. Well, it's LOV3 at
LOV3.
mhm, at proton.me. So Gina, definitely do that. If you're a veteran, it'll be for free. But I'm gonna do something special because I love you guys at W.A.R. If you came from W.A.R, just send me, just say W.A.R in your email, and I'll just do your session for free, even if you're not a veteran, because I know you guys said you also do like professionals. So I'll do that. I'll do that for free.
Uh, yeah, we're gonna get your email in the chat here, so we'll get that going for you, man. That's really cool. I mean, this is one of the reasons, Mike. Right? We did W.A.R was to connect like this.
Hmm.
Absolutely, to
Yeah.
connect folks, to things that are out there that they wouldn't find on their own sometimes. And it's been good to be able to put together the collective that we have and like the information and support that we've gathered since we started in January, February.
We'll call it January at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I love what you guys doing, and you guys, we are resilient, and that's what eudaimonia pushes on a lot. Is building that resiliency and thriving through it as well.
So,
You're
Tholen,
definitely
just check the email I dropped in this chat here. Make sure I got it right.
Let me see.
on the bed. Come on.
No period B period love3 at proton.me.
Yes, sir.
Don't call me sir, man.
Oh yeah, my bad. I'm so used to being out. I just started like connecting a lot more with vets since I've been back to the States. So I'm like getting used getting used to a lot of stuff. I coached
So,
the, if the vets, a lot of vets that I coached were very close to me, and they came out. They were having a very rough time, and they're just killing it in life, man. Right now, like have
That's awesome.
multiple. Yeah, he has like one of them, right? He has two businesses, two streams of revenue now. He has a high position in a well-known bank, and he's also like taking on marathons and doing some great things in life, inspiring other people. So it's like great to see how I just love seeing progression in people. Like when I'm coaching and they first come in, and then how they are at the end. I just love it. Even after one session, just seeing how much their life has changed and how much belief and faith they have in themselves to just achieve a good spirit. That's what it's all about. Like life is just experience. Don't feel bad about the things that you've done in the past. It's all about the present now. Don't worry about the future. Presently, how can you make the best state for yourself? And I met a Marine veteran. He had cancer, and he had it 3 times. Yeah, he had it about three
Cool.
times.
3 times.
Yeah, the first time it was so bad that he told the doctors not to tell me when I'm going to die. I'm going to decide that. You don't tell me I survived all this, combat. I survived getting blown up. I survived, all these ticks and stuff like that, right? For you to come and tell me that I have 3 months to live. And after that, like once he kept going back and forth, they don't even tell him anymore. He just keeps surviving, and that was the big thing he shared with me, where he loved what I was doing and talking about, because he was like, "That's exactly what helped him to keep going through, is just to be in a good spirit and focus on the present." And he just lived his life every day in that present moment.
Well, because a
Seven
lot of
pound
people,
lapdog. Sorry.
it's all right. Because, a lot of people just give up. They just quit, not just in their career or with their family or whatever. They're just in life in general. And it's hard to watch.
Mhm.
I mean, how do you look at somebody in that condition and give them the belief, the hope that they can, you know, feel alive again?
Right.
How do you do that?
So definitely, the big thing is really just talking with that person,
Yeah.
right? It's like there's something always within ourselves that we don't see. That's why I call it the greatness within yourself, because it's there. And it's kind of like at that point, a lot of people are looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. I was the same way. Kept looking for that light at the end of the tunnel, but what we know, right? The next tunnel is coming up, right? The
Yeah.
next tunnel is coming up. Every time you get to the end, there's another tunnel coming up. So when I use eudaimonia, right, and look for these people, is to help them find that light within themselves, because that's what really helped me and helped me to really flourish in life, is seeing that light within myself. So I am the light to my darkness, same way you are. So it's just helping you find your way to that light, to where you can feel like you are the light to your darkness, you know? And that's why I started the hashtag just smile over, for the same thing you guys are seeing, talking about where you find that, inspiration. And the hashtag was just me just, going with how times are now, with social media and stuff like that. So it's like when a veteran taps into that, just smile over, hashtag just smile over, they can see other vets that are going through the same things they are going through, and how they got through it, and maybe use that to help them, benefit in life. Just like Mike was talking about, where having those conversations, that helps a lot. Getting to hear another vet share their story. So that's a simple way. Just think about it. You don't have to be connected with the VA or not. You can just go online. It's very simple, and look up hashtag just smile over, tap into that, and see other vets that are doing the same thing, that you can get that inspiration right in there. So that's what that was designed. That hashtag was designed for, to where I put like pull ups in there, So the pull-ups mean like you do 10 pull-ups, and it meant like you know, pulling yourself up every day. So every day pulling yourself up, not pushing. No one is pushing you, because what happens when somebody's no longer pushing you? They move, you fall back on your back, right? You're so used to people always pushing you, but if you learn to pull yourself up every day, you don't need anybody, you know, for that. So it's like doing that for yourself. That's what we need to do for each other. You know, is keep encouraging each other to pull ourselves up each and every day and to stay alive, right? So if you can't do 10 pull-ups, then you say a joke. You know, you'll give a joke, you give a funny joke. I'm pretty sure, yeah, you guys are laughing. So I want to hear a joke from both of y'all.
Oh,
When I'm done, right? So you say pretty much a joke, and it'll just bring change your state, right, to a happy, like I just said, joke, and you know, you see how you guys are already smiling. That's it.
yeah.
You know, the smile brings the joy. It's not the joy that brings the smile. All right. So it's just changing your state that way, and just having people to tap in. And if you do the pull-ups, then you share an inspirational story of a hard time that you went through and how you got through it. So, you know,
So it's about taking action too. Then, Tholin, it's not just sitting there listening to a lecture. You gotta take action.
exactly, exactly. And that's the big thing where, you know, there was a lot of things where people were doing like awareness and stuff. So it's like how we do a solution based. There's a lot of solution with resources and stuff, but what about the guys that 60%, like Mike said, right? It's now 60%, 60% of guys who can't get connected to the VA. You know, what can they do in the meantime until they find the resources? And I used to do this everywhere. You know, I used to go to I used to go to like stores. I have some videos of me on doing it on a tree. You know, I had W.A.R in my house. You know, anywhere I went, I was doing it because I was showing that it's so difficult, right, for these veterans to find the resources. But you can always find a place to pull yourself up. And that's to show, like, if you keep searching, if you can find a way to pull yourself up, you can find the resources.
So
And that
just
was the
don't.
connection.
So just don't quit. You can't
Exactly.
quit.
Now,
Right.
earlier you were talking about you get people into communities and into groups. Uh, like, do you have like ones that you like favor? Like, is there like, I know like you got the Legions, the VFWs, you know, Team Red, White, and Blue for guys that like to run, and like
Mhm.
there's just so many different organizations out there. Do you have any favorite ones that are out there that you've been able to connect with or
Yeah,
ones you
definitely.
recommend?
Yeah, definitely. VFW is pretty cool. I just got connected to the post here in our area, and like, man, there's some old school vets there. It's awesome, like connecting with vets and just being in that space. We do like poker nights, different events. Like, there's some vets there that don't have family anymore. You know, they're not connected to a family, so this is where they come and meet and have a good time, and you know, just chill and talk to each other and stuff like that. And what I help vets do, I also, like, this is why I keep going more and more with the movement, is I'm connecting with a lot of different uh, resources, places for resources, excuse me, to help vets like transition, finding jobs. A great thing I never knew about. I'm pretty sure you guys know about it, but it's veteran court.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I found that, I went to a veteran symposium so I can get more and more research and learn a lot more. But veteran court is huge, man. It's very huge for helping veterans, and I think it's definitely helping, you know, vets who were troubled and felt this way to find a um, better version of themselves and keep working on being the best that they can be, and giving them a second chance, you know, a second chance, because what you don't know, you don't know, you know. So
Yeah,
that's
at
the
the
biggest
at the
thing.
homeless shelter that I lived at for 9 months, there was a lot of
Mhm.
guys that came through there that had come through the veterans court system, and like they placed them into the shelter, after they got out because they didn't have anywhere to go. And
Mhm.
so it was good to see, that was out there, being able to, not just talk to the veteran when they're in trouble, but also help them into that good time afterwards.
Exactly, exactly, and help them not even get a record as well with that, you know. because that destroys lives. Just having something on your record like that. So,
Absolutely.
but you have to put in the work to to be better.
Well, I knew a Marine who went through Veterans Court, and I'm telling you what, I mean, they had him hopping, 6, 7 days a week. I mean, he had to be
Yeah.
somewhere on time, professionally dressed, neat, trimmed up, whatever. Then it wasn't a freebie. It wasn't a freebie, but he persevered and changed his life. Changed his
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. Once I heard about Veteran Corps, I tell so many people about it because I know most of the guys that's in that 60%, they're gonna fall. Need that one. They're gonna
Yeah.
fall in that lane. So definitely.
And it's crazy too that it takes some of these guys 10, 15 years to to join a VFW or a Legion, after they get out. And it's like for me, like I joined before I even was out. And
Mm,
once I got home from my first tour, the guys at VFW like, hey, you're eligible to join now. And so I joined the post in my local town, and then just talking with them and going through the chairs, you learn that a lot of people aren't showing up until they're later in life. And
yeah.
that's the big thing is try to reach these guys, in that time period between, when they just get off of, active duty to when they, identify themselves as a veteran can take some guys a long time. And that's where I think like a lot of that, trouble with the guys with self harm comes in.
Mhm. Yeah, you hit it right there, Mike. That's powerful, man. I agree.
So
So
that's, we just try to reach out to, all that we can while we're up here.
Yeah.
hey, it's Thursday night, field day night for some people, but for us, it's we are resilient. We are war. We are with Tholin Johnson of No Be Love Yourself, a eudaimonia strategist, and there's the email in the chat. You can reach out to him, tell him that you saw it on WAR, and he will connect with you. Um, it's just one of those things where I think a lot of veterans are, we've got the golf tournaments, motorcycle rides, bowling tournaments, cornhole to raise awareness. Well, we got awareness to raise. Like, what do we do now? What do we do now, right?
Yeah.
And I think, studying it like I did and kind of getting to know you before we talked tonight, I'm like, this is about taking action. Like,
Hmm.
you've got to choose, make a choice, and then go with it. And I think that's the most powerful aspect is we can help ourselves and we can help each other.
Yeah. We are, like I said, for Just Smile Over, we are the solution. We are the solution to veteran suicide. Us.
But there's going to be no one pulling up in their stretch limo to and to carry us down the car and take us to this place. We got to do it ourselves.
Mhm.
Oh, we got to do it ourselves.
Yeah, I know it's tough. I know it's tough. It's tough, but
But you've lived it, right?
yeah,
You're not asking anybody to. You're a good NCO, Tholin.
exactly. Yeah, I
Live ones
have to
that you
I
didn't
have
do.
to do it myself. Like everything that I help people with, I have to do it myself. And if I found out something, like I have to go and see what it's like for me first, because that's how I feel what my clients are going through. That's why I feel like when people I'm giving inspiration and that they're going through, I know the pain. I know exactly when it's gonna
Mhm.
hurt you. So I'm gonna push you even more at that point in time. So, I love it. I love it. I love it.
We'll do, Barry. Just put in the comment. Barry said to bring on Nate. I will reach out to him for sure.
All right, Barry, thank you. We got Linda
Yeah.
Spence checking in. Great. Mark Peterson from Hey Mark, this is Tholin's a guy you need to have on the People's Patriot Project out of Minnesota, Tholin. So Mark is a fantastic guy, and Andrea, they're a great crew. And I will, Mark. Here's my promise. I'll put Tholin's email in a chat to you. And let's make this happen. Let's make this happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love it. Love it.
So yeah,
Always,
that's what
always
we're.
awesome to keep connecting with other vets and keep spreading the word and the message because we got it.
So yeah. So he says 46,000 orgs saying they are helping, less than 10% doing the job. They're creating a concussion. It's not wrong. It's not
Right.
wrong.
Yeah.
So we're winding this down. Is there anything that you want anybody to know about your story, or any basic strategies they can start now? I'm going to drop your email in the chat one more time so people know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah. So definitely the one that a strategy that I can definitely give and I always give to people is to the KBL 3-way, and this is how you get started to find your way, right? And way, WAY. So you need to really sit down, and I did this when I was at my lowest, and I turned the lights off. I cried when I was done doing this. All right, put everything on the paper. I turned my phone off. I turned everything off, right? And it got deep with so the way, who are you? So you ask yourself, who are you? It's going to be 3 questions. They're all going to start with way. So who are you? The second question is, who are you wanting to become? So who are you wanting to become?
It's in the chat, so it
And the
stays
third
there.
one is, what are you going to do to become that person? And I'm all about action, man. Just like you said, I'm all about action. That's what's going to help you to start finding your way to your good spirit, right? Like we said, intentions, to start with intentions, then character, then good fortune, right? That's how you get your good fortune. So that's something that I share with people all the time is the KBL 3-way, and that's how you find your way, get you started, to find your way to a great spirit.
Who are you? Who are you wanting to become? And to me, the most important one, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to sit there and get the feel goods from the speaker, or the free food or the free beer, but then you got to do something.
Yeah.
You got to do it. I mean, it's that simple, and it's not. Awesome. So
Take action.
look,
You guys not off the line though. I need the 2 jokes from both of you.
you a
All
joke.
right, you got it. I'll start out.
Okay,
All
Mike.
right, you ready?
Yep.
2 guys walk into a bar. The third one ducks. You think this is a bar?
Okay. I never heard that one.
Do I have a joke right off? I don't know if I have a joke right off the cuff. Wow. That was so good, Mike, that I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to follow that one up, Mike. Mike was ready, man.
As soon as you said joke, that was the first one that popped in my head. I was like, I got this.
Mike, stay ready.
Even if it's terrible, it's still good.
I'm drawing a blank here. I am the joke.
It's all right. You just gotta have a couple extra crayons next time.
Yeah.
I'm too old for crayons. I don't know why people, I don't even know where that came from. It says for some Crayola person wanting to sell more crayons.
They did. They were like the Marine Corps. We can go after them.
It's Jarhead for a reason. So we got Mark says, with Ashley, you don't need words. Mark Peterson's shock and awe. Gina's like, great show tonight. Elsa is, badass. Barry says, that was bad, Mike. I don't know, Barry. That's better than what I did. So it's pretty darn good. So, we're already laughing and having a good time.
Yeah.
Already laughing and having a good time. So, hey, look, Tholin, as you grow your business and your coaching practice and, meet more people, you just want to say that you have an open invitation to come back here on W.A.R and talk with us and see about getting you on my show, Oscar Mike Radio. And already I've hit Marky Mark up in Minnesota to have you on the People's Patriot Project. And that's how this works. So,
awesome.
Good work happening tonight, man. Yeah. Isn't this the best, Mike? Isn't this the best part of war?
Absolutely, being able to to spread the news of things that are out there, like you know, like they said in the comments, you have all of these organizations out there. It is very confusing to know which ones are actually taking action versus which ones are just collecting money and giving it to the CEO.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Elsa's like the show was awesome and badass tonight. Thank you very much. So I am Travis, and with Michael, we are resilient. We are war. This always happens. We get to talking with our guests. Our guest tonight's Tholin Johnson, U.S. Army veteran, and before we know it, the time is going. Mark said, "Hey, we all are welcome to come on the panel anytime." So, Mark, I did give you Tholin's email, so we can get that going. But this is how it goes. This is what we do on Thursday night. Next up is Oscar Mike Radio. I talk with a father about motorcycle safety and how he uses that to help veterans and other people. So it's a really cool show. Thank you, John Kennedy from the Veterans Brotherhood MC. Now you got a lot of places to be on Thursday night, but you're here with us. We really appreciate it. Mike, any closing words?
No, I just like to thank Dylan for coming on tonight, and for sharing the message that he's got. It's a really great one, and definitely glad to have him here tonight. And welcome back anytime you'd like to chat again.
Absolutely. That goes without saying, brother. We'll be in touch, and we really appreciate your time and candor sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you all so much for your time and everyone that tuned in as well, and the great opportunity, and just having a meaningful, present conversation as part of the solution and not the problem. So hopefully, someone has heard the word and go out and be their best self and realize that they're the light to their darkness. And the last thing I would like to say is what I always say is continue to know yourself, be yourself, love yourself, so you too can soar above your mountains. Bless.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. So with that, we are signing off. Thank you very much, and everybody will see you next week.
And next week, Travis will have a joke.
So good.